Hi, this is Mark Messier, co-founder of BioRunUp.com. Here you can see my stats over the last few years and profits. I don't necessarily like talking about the amount of money that I've made or I've gained, but this is something that really is critical. I have over $69,000, close to $70,000 in gains on my Profitly registered now.
Hi, I'm Mike Havrilla. This is just a Profitly chart for me for my trading over the past 2 years. As you can see, I've had about a little over $300,000 in verified trading profits since I've adopted the strategy that we're going to be discussing with you on biomedical stock trading.
I'm going to be talking about a few biotech stock terms that you should really be familiar with before we start really getting into our strategies. And if that's the case, then the value of the drug or the value of the company significantly decreases because you know their sales are going to be much lower. You're looking at a huge potential market, which will definitely increase the size of the run-up. We'll be talking about 3 examples of stocks in 2010 and now in 2011 that are obesity drugs. And these are kind of things that are huge money makers.
The first place we're going to start is with the Food and Drug Administration. So this is generally going to be healthy volunteers. This is the reason that Pfizer PFE bought out Wyeth, the company I used to work for.
I started with $2,200 in my trading portfolio, and I ended the year with over $30,000. I look for 20 to 30%, hopefully more, but a 20 to 30% gain over a run-up, which is usually between 2 to 3 months. I will never, if I can help it, I will never, ever, 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 ever hold through any type of major catalyst. I'm more of a conservative trader.
The 50 to 100% goal gains is really just for the ones where I'm pretty much all in or holding through the event. Like I've done the research and I decide, I feel comfortable holding through this FDA decision based on what the product is, what kind of results they've had. So it was more or less a run-up on a phase 3. They had a pivotal study I had bought like 3 different times. It was actually a week later that they reported positive phase 3 results. You ended up getting the run-up play again going into the results because it was just really a 3-month delay from the FDA, so it wasn't the end of the world.
And immediately the price fell, and I was watching it sitting in front of my computer, and it's gone, 25 cents, 20 cents. Immediately it rocketed back up, and you could see here the spike down, and then bam, within 2 days it was trading at 70 cents a share again.
What are the number 1 or number 2 problems that you see people losing money on biotech?
If you see the story on CNN, if you see it on CNBC and they're talking about a drug company gaining approval for a drug and you think, oh, this is going to make me $1 million, and you go out and buy, that is way too late.
What we're tracking is this whole process of clinical trials and the FDA approval. They have to develop a new drug through clinical trials and then ultimately go through the FDA before they can ever make any money or get acquired.
Talking and analyzing, how do you respond to those people?
I don't believe any of them. A company CEO is obviously not going to give you unbiased information.
The main objective is to determine if AMR 101 can lower these triglyceride levels. Secondary, they want to assess the effect on bad cholesterol, the LDL cholesterol. Since there is a similar drug, Levasa, is omega-3 fatty acid, a $1 billion drug marketed by GlaxoSmithKline. If you click on the left, they'll give you the whole tentative schedule for the year. There is a way that you can kind of aggregate them together and have them displayed. I actually have it set up on mine.
SEC filings is an excellent source that I use, not necessarily to go through and to research, but just to be notified instantly of any kind of changes in share price or in movement. Oryx here was halted yesterday morning. While it's halted, this part's blank because you don't know what time trading is going to resume. The introductions go by, and but you can identify the people who are with the FDA. You can listen to their comments, you can listen to their concerns. The key is the financial results. Revenues were $0.4 million, which is barely anything, but that's pretty standard for a drug company in developmental stage. They don't have any income or very little income. Net loss was $19.9 million compared to a net loss of $24 million. They're burning through about $20 million in cash.